It should come as no surprise to learn that I go out of my way to look for weird stuff, and I'm always surprised by what can be uncovered, but rarely will it truly disturb me. Recently, however, I came across something I sort of regret coming across. I made a more fun, snappy video about it over on my cyberviolence channel. Wink, nudge, there's a link on the screen. And in the description. The video is called The Cancer Alien, which explains the title of this video. I was wrestling with where the video would go, over here or over there, and instead I decided, okay, I'll do one for over there, and then rant about it over here, because I realized I just couldn't stop thinking about it. Sorry if that's a bit annoying, I hope you can find it in your heart to forgive me. For those of you who won't be watching the other video, I'll quickly get you up to speed now before I carry on. So, I'm willing to bet most of you have heard of transhumanism. The whole human 2.0 thing, going beyond our limits, maybe becoming cyborgs, that stuff. Let me read you a little Reddit post. If you think about it, we already have the ability to be no longer considered humans, because today, technology allows us to alter our physical and cognitive abilities, technology also being medicine and our understanding of epigenetics. Furthermore, I would say we have the choice now to die off or evolve. Not the most interesting comment, kinda silly, and certainly not unique. Not worth quoting over putting across the idea yourself, unless you happen to know that the guy posting the comment is actively pursuing this in a very serious way, and is being aided by medical professionals in Canada, or at least he says he is. He says Dr. Karis Massarella is helping him to get the hormones and other chemicals he needs to go beyond being human, based on his own understanding of what that means, which is why I'm careful to say this is what he's saying. It could not be true, it very, very sadly seems to be true. But because I think that doctor would have to be a monster to let this guy do this to himself, I want it to be clear that although there is something very, very obviously wrong going on, the details are just based on what this obviously very unstable man has said. At the same time, looking this doctor up, who's otherwise known as the trans warrior physician, I'm inclined to believe that she is going along with this and giving him the chemicals he needs to do what he wants to do, which is a mixture of male to nutoire, gender transition, and transhumanism. So this has really bothered me a lot, and I'm going to plug my other channel again, link on the screen, link in the description. Yes, I'm self-shilling, but you will horribly regret it, but you'll understand better why I'm just, okay, take a look if you're brave. Oh, and in case it wasn't clear, this is going to be another ranty kind of vid. There aren't going to be any more visuals, so you're safe to just play this in the background if you're doing other stuff. Two things that have acted as nightmare fuel for me have come together, and I really wish they hadn't. Firstly, transhumanism. Extremely cool idea, especially if we have perfect technology to do everything just right. Improve yourself, make massive changes to yourself, safely and hopefully reversibly. A neat thought of what could happen in the distant future. However, maybe we'll never get there, and we are certainly nowhere near there now. And so whenever transhumanism comes up, I start to think about failed attempts. And I have truly had nightmares about this, with brain-improving implants being used to control people's minds, and robotic parts being rejected by the body, becoming a mutant freak, all that good shit. Secondly, the other thing that has often fed into my nocturnal horror is, I guess you'd just say, identity politics. It certainly comes under this umbrella. Looking into this guy, I was reminded of something Camille Paglia, sorry if I'm not saying her name right, said. To paraphrase, I remember her saying that she's glad she wasn't in a certain frame of mind she was at one point with the world as it is now, with this transgender mania, I think she calls it, because she might have made a terrible mistake. The thought of that just sends shivers down my spine. The idea of this push for acceptance of everything and respecting identity above all else, leading to someone who should be having a temporary issue being railroaded for political reasons into terribly damaging themselves with procedures or medication that isn't actually appropriate for them. And now both of these fears of mine about the kind of thing that could happen have become a reality in one case study, which means I've had to have a shift in thought from, I hope this doesn't happen, to, I hope no more of this is happening. You could say there is a silver lining here though. If you check out the other video, and yeah, I know, I'm gonna try to avoid this happening again, but if you check it out, you will see that it is so obviously terribly wrong what's going on with this guy, that I think this is going to turn into an example of what can go horribly wrong thanks to identity politics in terms of bringing people to do things to themselves without getting mired in the trans issues defense and discrimination and bigotry accusations. I think this guy's existence will make it very hard not to concede that sometimes the people into this gender identity stuff are just nutty. I say nutty, but I do genuinely feel bad for this guy who is clearly a victim of tolerance. Or over-tolerance. Is that even a term? I don't know. You know what I'm saying though. Or maybe I should say political correctness, because it's apparent that some of the issue is anything that even vaguely touches on gender, it's a matter of identity. It can't be disorder. Using that language is discriminatory or transphobic or whatever else. Which is what this guy says is why the doctor does what she does for him. It's merely a matter of identity and where he wants to be. And while that approach might work for some people and be fine because it really is suitable for them, something needs to be done about it. There needs to be absolutely open discussion about the horrifying what-ifs. Because, as I've now seen and kinda wish I hadn't, the what-ifs of identity politics related to transgender stuff are not just what-ifs anymore. But, as usual, that's just another one of my harmful opinions.